Hey there everyone, it's Brendan here and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst channel. And over the past 2 days, Bitcoin has pulled back quite a bit off the highs. And with this, the entire altcoin market is falling as well. And so what this has done is this has really raised a few questions about, is this the beginning of a bigger reversal? Can the crypto market see more downside beyond what we've already seen? Or is this the perfect buy the dip opportunity? And that's exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. So the way that we're going to be doing this is we're going to be looking at everything that's happening behind the scenes. We're going to be decoding the chart, looking at the overall market. But we also have a really cool article that was published literally yesterday talking about the top 23 crypto gains by country. So if you're more of like the average investor, I think that you're going to find this really cool, really regardless of what kind of investor you are. I think everyone's going to find this actually really, really cool because some of the top cryptocurrency gains by country is not what you would expect at all. So stick around for that. I think it's going to be really entertaining for most of you out there. But let's kick things off here with Bitcoin first. Now, what's happening? Because over the past 2 days, we have seen Bitcoin kind of retrace from around 73,000 all the way down to the low of yesterday being around 65,000. So what this did is this actually represented about an 11% drop in the price of Bitcoin. Now, since then, we've obviously rose up a little bit from 69.5K all the way up to the higher end of 67,000, around 68,000, which is where we're currently consolidating at. Now, why is this important? Well, we've talked about this before, and that when we saw this previous big pullback, a $10,000 sell-off in a single day over on, I think it was March 5th, well, Bitcoin pulled back right close to this 20-day moving average, otherwise known as this blue line that we have over here. And this is not a new thing for Bitcoin. In fact, when we saw it break out over here, it pulled back right to the 20-day moving average, right? Then it went on a run, pulled back to the 20-day moving average again around February 24th. Then it ran, pulled back towards the 20-day moving average on March 6th. Now we ran once again, and guess what? We're pulling back towards the 20-day moving average over here, which is, roughly around where our previous all-time high was. So with us kind of doing this, again, I kind of just want to emphasize that this isn't anything new for Bitcoin. In fact, if we kind of zoom out here, we've seen this happen just in the past 2 months here. We've seen this happen like once, two, even three times, arguing on what time frames that you are looking at this on. Also, if we want to really zoom out and even look at like the previous market cycle in its entirety, well, it's not uncommon to see Bitcoin pull back or even below its 200-day, or rather its 20-day moving average at all. So if we go and we look over here, like this is kind of that same point. Bitcoin pivoted, it bounced off the 20, then did it again and again and again and again and again, and you get the picture here. When the run is starting to kick off, it is not uncommon for Bitcoin to pull back to its 20-day moving average. In fact, in some cases, as the market gets more volatile, it's going to break the 20 and it's going to go to the 50. And we saw that happen right here. We saw it happen right here. We saw it happen right here and here. And again, this is something that is very common. And we can look at the previous market cycle kind of just as evidence of that. And so as we are seeing a little bit of a pullback in Bitcoin's price over here, as we are seeing things get a little bit, more volatile towards the downside than we might have been used to, in this nice little run up, it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to actually make these huge runs to the upside and then pull back to something like the 20 or even the 50-day moving average, which is closer to like $54,000. And so when we zoom out and see the macros here, well, there's a big old support right here at around 65K. There's a little bit more as we go to like the $62,000 area. We also have around 59K. And then, of course, a big support at around like $54,000. So tons of support levels in between where we're at now and further moves to the downside. And it's not something that I'm stressing out about too much. Now, I know the traders are going to probably be loving this volatility. But again, these are the areas that I look at as potential buy the dips. So, when we're up in here, this isn't where I'm doing a ton of buying. It's, not where I'm taking a lot of leverage positions either. In fact, when we're dipping down over here and we're finding solid supports, this is the stuff where I am being increasingly more likely to actually put money in on these dips and accumulate on the dips instead of buying the tops. And so, I kind of just wanted to bring that to the spotlight first and foremost. But another really cool piece of data that I think everyone should be able to at least see is this 2023 crypto gains by country. Now, again, I said it at the beginning of this video, but this took me by surprise. And the reason for that, you'll see, it is not what you are going to expect. Now, what are these, gains by country? Well, here we can see that the estimated yearly realized crypto gains from 2020 to 2023. In 2020, it was 31.3 billion. In 2021, it was 159 billion. In 2022, it was negative 127 billion. And now, this year so far in 2023, it is 37 billion. And so the way that I kind of look at this is that we are coming out of a bear market much like we did in 2020. So, we haven't even come close to these numbers yet, right? To around 2021's numbers. If anything, I see us more so in this like 2020 area entering in to the 2021 era. That's kind of where we're at in this market cycle here, is we are like entering in to what could be just an astronomical bull run that maybe even looks 2021 look like it was a bit of a pipsqueak move. And that's just kind of the way that these market cycles work. Now, let's get into what everyone was looking at, or what everyone's probably interested in. What are these total estimated crypto gains by country? And so I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so that you all can see this hopefully a little bit better. First place, no surprise, United States. Second place, no surprise, United Kingdom. United States, let me just say this. The United States is like 9 times bigger in total of like crypto gains by country than second place, right? Just astronomical difference here between first being the US and second being the United Kingdom. Now, what I found really interesting was third place. Third place was Vietnam at 1.8 billion. Vietnam had more crypto gains last year than China, than Russia, than Korea, than, Japan, Canada, Turkey, like Australia, like you name it, which I found was wild. So third place was Vietnam, then China, then Indonesia, then India, Russia, South Korea, Germany, Turkey. The list goes on, right? But I found this, really, really interesting. One that I expected to actually be a little bit higher up on the list was something like Hong Kong or Singapore, or maybe even like arguably like Saudi Arabia. But yeah, a really interesting chart nonetheless over here that I found really interesting. And of course, when we're going back to just like total crypto gains from last year, we've really seen this ramp up since like August, which is where the pivot point was. It was negative 1.5 billion. Then September, it was higher at negative 1.4. Then it was positive 3.3 in October, positive 7.4 in November, positive 8.5 in December. And then it's just been climbing and climbing and climbing since, which is a good sign that it's like, hey, this pivot point was actually back around August over here. So crypto gains are back on the rise. And when we see dips like this, I don't freak out too much. Now, could we pull back more? Again, yeah, we looked at this in the beginning of the video saying it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to pull back to the 50-day moving average on these big, dips inside of the bull cycles. So is it possible for Bitcoin to pull back more? Absolutely. But is this something that I'm going to be shorting? Absolutely not. This is one of those things where I will look to buy the dip here, because as we zoom out, there's a saying, no matter what kind of finance you're in, there's a big old saying that says the trend is your friend. And as we zoom out on this chart over here, for the last year and a half, the trend has most certainly been our friend to the upside, not the downside. Just been a series of higher lows and higher highs on repeat. And so long as this trend is our friend, so long as we're seeing higher lows and higher highs on the bigger time frames, I will continue to buy the dips and look for longs as opposed to shorts. Now, that's going to wrap us up for today's video, everyone. If you like the video and everything that we have over here, well, consider checking out those links in the description down below. You can check us out at Altcoin Alert or Crypt Nation. We got a couple of great communities over here that you all can be a part of and, get dug into the crypto space a little bit more deeper. So thank you all for watching, and we will see all of you in our next video.